Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where we come up with healthier options of things that you love to eat. Now I promise this is the last pumpkin one that I'm gonna do for this year. I promise. I actually wasn't gonna do one, but I was like, you know what, it's Thanksgiving week, and I know some of you are gonna be making and eating pumpkin pie, so why not make a healthier version? All right, so super simple. I've already got the oven preheating to 350. And of course, we're gonna take some pumpkin puree. Now, again, make sure it's not the pumpkin pie option. You want the pumpkin puree because, of course, it does not contain sugar. All right, so as soon as I can find a rubber scraper, we're gonna have to get one out of the dishwasher. That works. All right, I know they're around here somewhere, but they sprout legs and walk away. All right, so in my bowl, I'm going to add about 15 ounces. So if you get the smaller can, that's exactly what it is. They're 15-ounce cans. This is a little bit bigger. So of course I've used part of it, but we're gonna put it in a big bowl. Now, this is a crustless pie because of course the crust usually contains a ton of sugar, not just in the sugar that's added, but also in the carbs used to make the crust itself, such as flour. I don't think people realize, you know, it's so funny when I tell people, wow, you're eating a lot of sugar. And they're like, no, bread's not sugar. Yes, it is. Bread is dessert. So, you know, think about what processed flour turns to as soon as it hits your system. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to add, one container, one of the Premier pre-made vanilla protein shakes. Now, you could probably use a different brand, but this is actually, I believe, a Premier Protein recipe, so I know that it's going to work, and I've actually already made one, so I know that it does turn out okay. So you're going to add all 11 ounces to this, okay? And on top of that, you're also gonna add a scoop of vanilla protein powder. Now, I prefer vanilla because then it doesn't take on other flavors, but I guess if you really wanted to add something else, I know last year Premier had a pumpkin spice flavor. I don't know if they have it this year. I haven't looked that hard. So 11 ounces of this, 1 scoop, and of course I use the Nectar by Syntrax because it's one of the cleaner, better tasting products I've ever found, plus it cooks well. You know, some of the protein powders don't bake or cook well, they kind of change, you know, structurally. So I'm gonna add 1 scoop of this, okay? And like I said, vanilla, I know they carry other options, but this is the one that I like. So I use it for all kinds of things because it can actually take on other flavors as well. All right, so to that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, and I'm gonna find my little teaspoon over here, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. And again, you know, super inexpensive at the store. This is just the store brand. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons, and of course I love pumpkin spice, so gotta add some of that. All right, so I'm gonna add that to my little concoction right here. I'm using a ½ teaspoon measurement, so, and I'm kind of doing the quick version. All right, so to that I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt. You gotta have it to offset the sweetness. Now, we'll talk really quickly about how you're going to make your pie sweet. Honestly, with what I've used, I don't need to add anything else to it to make it sweet. But, let me grab my salt here real quick. I got most everything out that I needed. Just a couple of quick things I forgot, but that's okay. I made one of these earlier today just to make sure it turned out okay, and actually I'm incredibly impressed. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. Now I'm gonna mix this with just a hand mixer. Because it's easy, I do have a big KitchenAid mixer, but I have to drag it out and it's kind of a pain when I'm just doing something small like this. So it's a whole lot easier to just use a hand mixer. All right, so we're gonna mix this up and then we're actually gonna taste it because again, I've already discovered I don't need to add any extra sweetener to this, but if you're using other products, other brands, you might need to. So I'm gonna mix this up really quick and then I'm going to taste it. All right, now, this recipe does contain eggs, but because I haven't put the eggs in yet, I can still safely taste it. That's how this works. So that's why we're gonna mix this up real quick first. And then if it tastes okay, which again, I know it will be because this is the exact recipe I just made earlier today. Oh, come on, my hand mixer's being obstinate today. Yeah, maybe it'll just have its own day. I don't know. All right, it's just upset because it's Thanksgiving and it wants to make some Thanksgiving stuff. Just kidding. All right, so I'm gonna mix this really quick. I want to mix it thoroughly, just make sure, you know, it's all, I don't want any chunks or anything in it, so just takes a quick minute. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to scrape down the sides really quick just because, again, I want to make sure that it's all mixed well. And some of the spice is on the sides of the bowl, so let's do that really quick. All right, finish that up. Yeah. All right. Super fast. All right, so I'm going to taste it, and actually what I'm going to do is just, this one does not need any extra sweetener. So if you are needing something else sweet, I highly recommend that you do something either within the stevia or the monk fruit range. If you're using aspartame, sucralose, erythritol, now erythritol actually in large quantities is going to give you some incredibly interesting digestive distress. AKA gas, and it's not going to feel real great. So try to pick something that doesn't raise your blood sugar. Sucralose does. Even though it's non-nutritive, it still spikes blood sugar. We've done enough research to find that out. So your best options are monk fruit or stevia. Now, make sure that you read the ingredient list, because some of them, like this one, contains erythritol. So you have to be really careful that you know what you're using and you know what you're getting into. Now, I still believe that sugar substitutes can still prepare your body. You're still going to increase, secrete, I can't even talk today, it's Monday, some insulin because your body's expecting sweet when it tastes even the sugar substitute. So be aware of that. All right, so I'm going to add 2 large eggs to this, and then I'm gonna make it. It's super, super simple here. All right, so throw my eggs in there, mix it up. Now, I've got a pie pan ready to go. Now earlier I just used a glass one because I prefer to be able to see it, so I'm going to be able to show you what that looks like. But for this particular time, we're going to use just a throwaway aluminum one. So you're going to spray that with some spray, which of course I don't particularly love, but you know, we got to be able to make it not stick. All right, got the eggs in there. I'm going to mix that back up, pour it in there, and we're going to cook it on 350 for 50 minutes to an hour, depending on how it looks. And I'll show you in just a sec. Oh yeah, get it all mixed up. There we go. Not the size. Okay. Super simple there. Done. All right, I'm gonna pour it in my pie tin, and like I said, I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 50 minutes, and then we'll show you what that will look like. So let's get this ready to go. I always make messes, so you know, it's okay. I'll clean it up. I'm gonna clean it up after kids for years, so it's all good. All right, so that's gonna go in the oven and cook for about 50 minutes. Now here's what it's gonna look like when you are done. Voila, actually it looks just like regular pumpkin pie. Now, again, you wanna let it cool for quite a bit, and then you can slice it and you can add some either sugar-free whipped topping, such as the Cool Whip, or of course, my favorite, because I like to make a mess, sugar-free Ready Whip, right? You can make it all pretty. Oh, look at that. Whoop. All right, super fantastic. How hard was that? You guys, this is super easy. There are ways to make healthier options, so make sure you do some research. I love Pinterest because I can hop in there and find almost anything and alternatives. I also can sometimes substitute things and see if it turns out okay. It actually works out pretty well. So don't be afraid to try some things out. Be creative. Now, you guys, I get my very best ideas from you. So if you have a great recipe you'd love to share, make sure it's not complicated. I know many people do not know how to cook, and we're trying to give them options in order to make healthier things without having to be complicated. Now, if you would like to see the rest of my recipes, hop on over to YouTube, find my channel under Fillmore Fitness, and watch all the meals with Melissa that you can find. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get all the new ones as well. Now, happy holidays, you guys. I am grateful for many things in my life, but of course, I am absolutely grateful for you all. So here is to a grateful holiday season, and I hope that you are happy and healthy. Have an incredible day.